Hey everyone, it's Mike here, and in today's video I'm going to talk about 9 tips that I'm going to use for quarter 4 for Amazon FBA. So let's get into the video here. You know, it's it's the same thing that I've been saying for the longest time. You know, you just got to keep sending product over there, right? We're only in November here, so keep sending this stuff in. But remember, at some point, this fast food moving stuff is not going to get to that warehouse in time at Amazon. So you're going to have to come up with your own cutoff point, right, for these fast-moving items that you want to send in FBA. Typically, that could be anywhere from December 10th to like the 15th, give or take, right? And again, test this stuff, see what's going on. But that's pretty much the basics there, right? Just send us everything you can. If it's long tail, keep sending in that long tail, right? That's important. You have to pay attention to rank. Okay, I'm just telling you this right now. You have to pay attention to the rank because if you're like me, you're trying to bring this stuff in here to get this fast flips, right? And if you're looking at stuff in, let's say, for example, toys, that is ranked 400,000, there's no guarantee that that's going to sell for you in a week or 4 months, right? Is it bad to look at those? No. Just you got to understand, you got to pay attention to what the rank is so you can understand, typically what you should expect in terms of, a return on your investment, right? Whether it's within the pay period, whether it's, 6 months down the road, stuff like that. So, doing that is important because if you don't and you're just sending in random stuff with higher ranks on toys, you're going to be tying up all your money. And the whole idea here is to keep flipping fast stuff, moving that money so you can make more and more money. If you don't, you're just going to tie up all of your money into one particular product there that's going to end up sitting there, right? The other tip I got here is merchant filling, right? If you're approved to merchant fill toys, you can have some opportunities to sell toys, ship them from your house, right? Buy them in the store, literally list it from your phone, it sells, you go home, you package it up. I've said this over and over, nobody's talking about merchant filling toys. I don't understand why, but that's something I've always done, and I've been very successful at it. There's going to be some competition this year for sure. There's a lot more people in the Amazon game. So you have to understand, what is your best option? Do you want to buy these toys, let's say December 2nd, send them in? Sure, that might be an option. But why not start merchant filling these? If you're approved and you can merchant fill toys, why not look at that as a viable option? Because remember, sending products to Amazon in this crazy December months is going to be fluctuation in price. And with that price, it's going to be up lower, it's going to be a higher competition to come in. So you have to understand that, doing that is going to really give you that boost. It's going to give you that money that's coming through right now so you can turn around and flip more, right? And you're going to get in your item, get it sold, and move on to the next, right? Another misconception, I think, with Q4 is, people think, it's October, November, December, and those are great months too. For me personally, January has always been my best month, period, across all 12 months of the year. So don't forget January, February, right? If you have items that is over there in December and they're not selling, remember, January comes around and it will clean out your store too. So keep that in mind, right? It's not always all about December. It's not always about Christmas. There's a lot more sales going on after the fact, after Christmas, and that can make you a lot of money too if you utilize it well. The other thing I have over here is work with what you have, right? Legitimately, okay? You can go out there and get a line of credit. You can go out there and get a loan from Amazon or Cabbage to, build up your business there, build up your bankroll. But just remember, don't overextend. It's very important, especially if this is your first time, selling on Amazon FBA. You need to understand how it works, and you can next, tie up literally 10 grand on product that's flooded. There's competition everywhere, and everybody's botting them out, right? And next thing you know, you won't be able to sell it. I mean, there's legitimate cases where there's items like that where 200-300 people are on it, and then people paid it $20 for it. They start dumping it December 30th. We'll take 16. We'll just cut our losses, right? So keep this in mind. Don't overextend. Try not to use credit, right? And really work with what you have. Work with what you have right now, and then build a system down the road to save money, to create that picking fund. It's crucial. I'm a big believer that you don't need credit to run an Amazon business or an eBay business. You can start with what you have, and you just go and work at your pace. You don't have to compare yourself to others that are out there. And they're throwing these numbers of $3.7 trillion in December. That's great. That's cool. That's not you. Okay. Stay away from flooded listings. And what I mean by that is, if there's a lot of competition in an item right now, stay away from it. Keep your eye on it and see if, prices start to go up, competition starts to come down. Just don't go buy that right now, okay? Unless you see room for profit immediately, okay? There's a lot of people that are in Amazon right now. A lot of people are going to be selling toys. So you have to understand risk versus reward, right? Risk versus reward. Do you buy right now if there's 300 listings on it? 300, other sellers? No. Why would you? Unless it's profitable right now at the lowest price. But more than likely, from my experience with all the listings I've seen that get flooded like that, there's no room, right? Then you get into the 5-10% ROI. So keep that in mind. And remember, if you are in that situation, don't be afraid to hold out, okay? A lot of people will jump the gun and go, oh my God, it's December 23rd. Nobody's buying my my Cabbage Patch or whatever it may be. So they're going to dump while you hold out, and you can, all of a sudden, a flooded listing became a very profitable one, like at the end of December or, again, January, February. Keep that in mind. It's crucial, to understand that holding out in your item for 30 days, even 60 days, 90 days is not a bad thing. You just got to remember, how do you incorporate that in your business, all right? So you have to have fast flips, and you have to have stuff that you just have to hold. And again, if you thought a fast flip was going to move right away and it became a flooded market, hold on to it. Hold on that item, hold on that listing, raise your price, and let's see what happens. Because that's happened to me all the time, guys. And, I hold, and then eventually I get money for it. And I get make more money than when I originally planned. So definitely keep that in mind. Also, guys, with Amazon, remember that multi-channel fulfillment option. It's crucial. Everybody thinks Amazon when it comes to Q4 and Christmas. There's eBay, guys. I mean, so let's, why are we ruling out eBay? When eBay could be a viable option, especially if you're on those listings where it's flooded. Throw it up on freaking eBay, sell it over there for a profit. See if there is room for profit over there. Just remember that. You can, just because your items are at the warehouse, or you're doing multi-channel fulfillment, or even merchant fulfilling it, set it up so you can have that listing mirrored on eBay, and if it sells, boom, great, you make profit. You got away from the flooding, right? So that's huge, guys. It only takes seconds to list something on eBay, right? Or you already have the product at Amazon. Just copy the listings, copy the image, slap it on eBay, put it at a higher price. You never know what people are shopping for. And remember, too, when you're doing the multi-channel fulfillment stuff on eBay, make sure you have expedited shipping. I'm telling you, there's people that'll shop December 22nd, and they'll pay 2-day shipping or overnight to get it to their door for Christmas. So keep that in mind. And again, calculate that. You got to know what your costs are. Just don't throw out there $40 because it might be $80 to overnight that package or whatever it may be. So, but definitely have expedited shipping on there. It's going to help. But remember, if there's flooded items that are on Amazon, look to eBay, look to Etsy, look to wherever other platform, right? Look locally, I guess, to some extent, because there's buyers everywhere, guys, and they're just not always on Amazon. Even though Amazon is the #1 marketplace, it's use the advantages you have, right? Use all the platforms that are available. And finally, my last tip here is, if you're hunting for toys, okay, start looking at stuff that's exclusive to Target, right? Obviously there's people that know about this, so it's no big secret. But I'll tell you what, the competition is not going to be as high on that item as a toy brand that's nationally wide, right? That's at Walmart, Target, right? Those are the ones that are going to get flooded. The exclusive ones, sure, some of them will get flooded. Some of them, honestly, they're not even online, right? So creating the new listings, getting away from that competition, that's crucial. And, go around when you're running around right now in the next 30 days, 40 days, start looking at opportunities that are just not present on Amazon, and you'll find some golden nuggets. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.